Welcome to Chemistry with Dr. Z. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the rate of a chemical reaction. So what is a rate of a chemical reaction? A rate of a chemical reaction is how fast a reactant can actually react together to form the products. Some reactions are very slow, like rusting, while other reactions are very fast, like burning of fuel and explosion. So we can represent the rate of a reaction graphically. So in order to find the speed or the rate of the reaction, you can do this by recording either the amount of reactant that has been consumed or used up during the reaction at different times, or the amount of the product that has been produced over time as well, and then presenting your data as a graph of the amount, either amount of reactant consumed or amount of product produced versus time will give you the reaction rate graph. So this is the reaction rate graph where we have the time on the x-axis and we have the amount of the product form on the y-axis. This is the original reaction rate, as we can see here, represented by this red line. And then the purple one represents a faster reaction. As you can see, the steeper the line of the graph, the faster the faster the rate of the reaction, or the faster the reaction. So the second reaction with the purple line is faster than the original reaction. And then if we try to draw another rate of reaction, the blue one, this is a much faster reaction. This is again is a steeper one. The green line here represent the same reaction, but not just at a faster rate, but also with more reactants because more products are produced at the end. The flat line at the end will show that the reaction has finished because no more product is produced over time. So these are the lines for different reaction rates. So how can we calculate the rate of the reaction? The rate of the reaction can be measured using the amount of the product produced, or the amount of reactant used, or the amount of product formed over time. So the rate of the reaction equal the amount of reactant used over time, or the amount of product formed over time. We can represent the amount of reactant or product as mass in gram, or we can measure it by volume, so volume in centimeter cube. And then the rate will be represented as gram per second or centimeter cubed per second. We can also calculate the amount of reactants or product as in terms of moles. So moles is the mass in gram over the molecular mass. So we can also use the moles, and then the unit will be mole over second instead of gram per second or centimeter cubed per second. So how can we find the rate of the reaction graphically? So when you draw your graph of the amount of product formed here over time, or even you can use the amount of reactant used. So this is the line that represent reaction rate of a certain reaction. And then we want to calculate the rate of the reaction at certain point of time. So here the reaction rate, as you can see, is different because it's not the same all the time, but we want to calculate the rate of the reaction at a certain point. To do this, we will draw the tangent at a certain point in time. So at this point in time here, so we drew the tangent, and then we can calculate the gradient of the tangent of the curve on this graph as a measure of the rate of a reaction at a specific time. For this is the tangent, and then this is the change in y and the change in x, and then the slope will be the change in y over the change in x. The slope here will represent the rate of the reaction, and we can calculate this graphically.